Hello and welcome to the Tabletop Games blog Play With Me playthrough. Today we're looking at Wingspan, the digital edition, which has just come out on Steam, and some other platforms I think will be coming as well. So for you who have played Wingspan, you'll know what it's all about, but if you haven't, let me give you a brief introduction, but also check out my review which I've done. There's a link in the top right corner, pops up in a minute, and there's also a link to my unboxing video. You can see what's in the box if you want to see all the materials. There's also expansions, but I'm not sure whether they're actually in the digital edition, but again, there's a review coming up on screen and also an unboxing video of that. But yeah, so Wingspan is a tableau builder all about birds. The core edition is all about North American birds. The expansions then is for European birds, and later there'll be further expansions coming out for the board game, and I presume they will come out for the digital edition as well. But let's actually switch to the digital edition so you can get a look. So here we go. This is Wingspan, and I'm actually going to switch on the audio as well for you so you can sort of hear what it's all about. So you've got a lovely soundtrack in the background. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit so it's not too overwhelming. I hope you can hear that all right. Yeah, so the digital edition has the usual things. You can obviously play against the AI or the Automa, which has been made by the Automa factory, which you'll probably know from other Stonemaier games. So this is obviously Wingspan. I should have said at the beginning, Wingspan by Stonemaier Games. There's also an archive of games. You can keep that. Obviously credits of who's taken part, various settings, so you can obviously change the volume. And actually I'm going to do that now, so show you. Just turn it down a little bit. Lovely sound effects. So if I turn this up again a bit more, then you can probably still hear me okay and still hear the audio. I love how this is all made up. Beautiful illustrations. I obviously animated everything based on the original illustrations. Then we've got a list of birds here, which I'll quickly click into so you can have a look. So there's a deck of cards, so you can. I thought you could click on one. Let's have a look. Can you click on them? Oh, there we go. So the various ones. I presume it doesn't show you all of them, only the ones you've actually seen in the game, to you not have any spoilers. That's actually quite interesting. I quite like that. So I've played the game a couple of times just to familiarize myself with the user interface. And then you can play online as well. Obviously you'll be able to play with friends online. And I believe you can also play this. Yeah, you can play this with friends just on the same computer if you wanted to do that. So instead of the board game, you can do it this way. But online, I think, will be quite interesting for some of us, especially at the moment. So let's play a game. As you can see, you can play against the Automa, which is what we'll be doing. You can set up a custom game where you can also play with friends or the AI or a mix of them. So 2 to 5 players, very nice. And then there's even a tutorial mode, which if you want to learn Wingspan, I'm not going to explain it very much here, just a rough outline. Then you can click on that and do that. So let's set up an Automa game. So there's me as the first player, and then the Automa, you can actually choose different levels. We're going to stick to the normal, and I guess you could in theory add more people in as well. Then we've got the goal mat. Now I always play just feather points rather than who has the most. So we'll go with that, and then the player order is just random. So we'll start the game and just look at the animation. Very nice. And I say you got the lovely music in the background as well. Lovely, yeah. So what you see on screen, first of all, it tells you the 4 rounds. In the top right, you've got the end of round goals. The first round, we have to have eggs in these cavity nests. Then next round, number of eggs in the bowl nests. Then the number of birds in the woodlands, and then the number of eggs in the wetlands. And on the right here, it shows you the dice that are on the dice tab at the moment. So there's 5 of them. Number of cubes that you've got. So we'll start with 8, round 1. How many eggs and the different food items you've got here. And then again, an overview here in the middle. So we're on round 1 of 4, 8 turns left, indicated by the cubes here, then the end of round. So it's very nice how it does the different steps and things. And then on the left here, it just tells you the different actions you can do. And again, you've got settings and help up there as well. So let's start the game and see. So first of all, we have to select a combination of 5 things, so birds and food items. So if you choose 2 birds, you can choose 3 different food. But I always find it easier just to look at our goal cards or objectives. So what have we got? We've got a prairie manager. So that's birds that can only live in the grasslands. Or the oologist, birds that have at least 1 egg laid on them. You need quite a few for that, so I might go for the prairie manager. And then we'll click next, and that takes us back to that. So we can now focus on birds that live, what was it again? Only live in prairie, okay. So there's a few different ones. I might choose those 2. And then we want a rat or a rodent for the northern area, and then at least 1 worm for the swallow, and maybe we'll go for a fish, maybe later for some of the other birds. So that's 3 resources, 2 bird cards. It's a sort of starting thing I tend to do. And then we go next, and then we're going to start playing. So it reminds us that we've got 8 turns left. And here on the left are the 4 different things we can do. This is the habitats overview, which we don't really need at the moment. So the top action would be to play a bird. Actually, what you do instead is you just click on a bird card, and then if you're in the right habitat, you can see we could play this bird in the first slot of the woodlands if we have enough food. And then, sorry, that was the woodlands, so we can obviously choose this one to collect food. Then the grasslands, obviously for laying eggs, and the wetlands are for drawing cards. And again, you can see how you're zooming in and out of the the environment really as well. You're sort of, what is it? An aviary? What is the theme these days? So I think it's probably quite good if we start with just getting some food, because we need another worm to play the swallow. So I click that. I can now choose a food from the bird feeder. I think I'm going to go for that one. Go next. And then it's the automa's turn. So the automa does different things as well. So places cubes in this game to select, take a bird. They obviously work a bit different to a normal player. So they don't actually have to play birds. They just draw cards. And you can see on the left hand side it explains what they get for different face-up cards and things like that. So at the moment they've got 4 points in total, and you can see over here their objective card as well. And then you click next, and then it's your turn again. So 7 turns left now. So we could now play the green swallow, which has a brown power. Tuck a card. Tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, you draw a card. So it's probably better placed actually in the wetlands. But I'm thinking I'd like to always start in the woodlands to try and build it up. But we have a look actually what is in the display, because we are after birds that can only live in the grasslands. There's also another bird, the warbler, that actually lives also in the woodlands, and it's probably easier to put out there. So we'll actually do that. So we're going to click that to draw a bird, and we're going to draw the warbler as we said, and then we click next. By the way, there's a little symbol in the bottom right here, which is like a reverse arrow with a line through it, which means you cannot undo this action. Whereas on the left hand, you have actually undo. So if you've decided not to draw a bird, you can still undo that now. But once you click that, there's no return. So we click that, take it in our hands, and now it's the automa again. So they actually take a food from the bird feeder, and then it's our turn again. 6 turns left, round 1 of 4. So yeah, I think it's time to now get our little yellow rumped warbler out. Take a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, draw a card. That's quite useful. So we want to place that in the woodlands. Here we go, just select it, it pops up there. It now says what food you want to pay. There's 3 different options, so I could in theory change it if I had a berry or a grain. And you can see over here I don't have any of those. So I'm going to just stick with that.
Yellow rumped warbler. Birders sometimes call these birds butterpuss.
So there you go, you also get a little explanation of what that bird is called and a little piece of information that you would also find in the real printed game. So next, what can we do now? Shall we get some more food? I think it might be useful because we want to get the violet green swallow out. But on the other hand, let's have a look again what's out in the display. A few more birds. So we are after also bird eggs in the cavity nest. So the violet green swallow has that, whereas the yellow rumped warbler is a bowl nest which we'll need in the next round. So maybe we will get some food. Now, the rules are we draw a dice. If all the faces are the same, you can actually reroll, and you can see the reroll icon down here is not available because of that. And we can also, because of the action, discard a bird card from my hand to draw another food dice. But I quite like the northern area, so I'm just going to draw a berry for now. Carry on. I can tuck a card. If I do, I draw a card. Now, tucking cards gives you a point, and then you could draw one instead. And I have to remember what was actually in the display. American coot, brown pelican. So I could try that. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do that. I don't normally do it because I quite like the hunting birds. So let's do that. And click next. So I can now draw one. As I said, the American coot looked interesting. Common grackle as well. Tuck a card behind. If you do draw a card, lots of choices. Let's go for the pelican. And you hear the bird noises. So again, we've done our brown power. And it's back to the Automa player. So carry on there. And it's the next round. So we need 2 fish. Tell you what, we're going to draw, but I'm actually going to do a reroll because I'm trying to get the violet green swallow out first. So I'm going to take this one, which is either worm or grain or invertebrate into grain. So I'm going to obviously take the invertebrate because I need 2 for the swallow. Do that. Okay, now tuck again. Maybe I will. Why not? I can draw again. Now woodpecker is looking good. Maybe we will go for the grackle for later as well. So taking that, and the Automas go again. And you can see it just carries on like this. They do their actions, get their points, and then back to us. Now, I do want to play this swallow, but I'm tempted to actually play it in the wetlands because it doesn't actually then cost us any eggs either. So let's do that. Play that there. Take 2 worms or invertebrates.
Swallow. Like other swallows, these birds forage in large groups in open areas.
I hope you could hear that. I hope the sound is not too quiet. So the Automa has done their turn. Back to us again. There's 2 more rounds left, so we do want to get some eggs in there. So let's do the lay eggs action. Lay 2 eggs. So you now have to select your birds. So might as well put, not that one. Is this one, the swallow. 2 eggs in there. That would be 2 points at the end. Not a lot of points, but it's okay. I mean, this is sort of engine building as a tableau builder, so it will get better and better over time. as the rounds progress. So there's the last turn on this first round. Let's have a look. We've got a berry and a fish and an invertebrate. You might want to get the yellow throat as well. So let's draw a card. Let's get the common yellow throat next. Or actually, because I can tuck a card in a minute, I'm going to draw this one. And now I can tuck a card from my hand and then draw, because I'm going to tuck that one just for a point. And then I'm going to draw the yellow throat to actually have in my hand. So that was, first bird was just for an extra point. And I'll show you in a minute where you get the bonus points and the tuck cards, where that's shown. So if you look here, oh, that was the end of the round. There we go. We actually got 2 points and they only got 1. That's quite good. Quite pleased with that. So round 2, we now want eggs in bowl nests. So yeah, I just want to show you up here. Shows you there's 1 tucked card for the swallow. Okay. We've got eggs. We haven't got the invertebrate, but we could still play it now. And you can always pay 2 different resources to make another one when you play a bird. And I think I'm going to change just to show you as well. So I want to keep the fish. I'm going to use the mouse and the fruit to pay. And then I also need to spin an egg, so I'm going to click on this bird to use an egg from them.
Common yellowthroat. This was one of the first American birds to be catalogued by Linnaeus in 1766.
There you go, all the information there. I'm going to turn the music up a little bit more. Okay, so next turn. I could draw cards, but we want eggs as well. We want a number of birds up there, so yeah, why don't we get a couple of woodland birds? So we're actually going to draw that one as well. But what happens next is we can now draw 2 more because of the other bird behind it, which I can't read at the moment. So I'm going to get the nuthatch and one from the top of the deck. Now I can tuck a card to do a draw card. Now those are all quite useful. So we want the ones that only live in grasslands, like this one. And we want some in the top. So what have we got left? Fish. Let's tuck this one. Okay. And then we have to draw from the deck because there aren't any available. There you go, not a bad swap, and that's an extra point. Now we have to discard a card, unfortunately. Now, I think we'll go rid of the grackle after all. The heron is nice, because it allows you to trade one for another food. There we go. And now it's the automa again. They're getting their points, slowly creeping up. Can we keep up with them? So eggs should be quite easy. So I'm wondering whether we should get some food now. Let's have a look what is in the feeder. 2 worms, a grain and a rodent. Now we need any of those really, apart from the rodent for the kinglet. So I'm tempted to do that. I'm gonna take, let's take that one. Sorry, I have to click down here. It's always tempting to click up there. Click from here, click next, and we can tuck a card. That's always a decision, isn't it? Heron is really nice. We need those for points, so I'm not going to tuck anything. And again, remember, this is undo, and now it's switched to a sort of if you look in the bottom right here, a skip symbol. It does warn you, you sure want to skip this? Yeah, we will this time. the automa again. So they want birds that can only live in woodlands, whereas we want birds that can only live in grasslands at the end of the game. Okay. Now we can actually play this bird, so we're going to click on the kinglet. We're going to use the invertebrate, and then we need to spin an egg, and I think we had the one in the wetlands.
Ruby crown kinglet. Kinglet's ruby red crown feathers pop up when they are agitated.
Now this is a special power when played. You can play a second bird in my woodlands and pay the normal cost. I haven't got another one, so I could have planned for this a bit better, but again I'm going to skip it. And then we're back to the automa player. Very nice. Okay. Now I think it's time to get lots more food. So maybe we get the heron out, or one of these. Now how much do they need? Grain or anything else? Well, I can do that in the grain. And the invertebrate. Next. We can tuck a card. Again, we're going to skip it this time. It's probably not the best. I think some other people might say, oh, you shouldn't do that. Tuck more cards. But there we are. 2 more turns left in this second round. So to start laying eggs, but I think it's time to actually get a bird out, and we're going to go for the brewer's blackbird. Spend not the fish. Doesn't really matter, the heron is happy with the worm as well, so let's do that. So that was a brewer's blackbird. And I think now it's time for us to lay eggs. In fact, I'm going to get rid of the invertebrate to lay 3 eggs. And we want eggs in bowl nests, so might as well put them all in here. It gives this power where you lay an additional egg on this bird, so I probably should have put the other one on another bird. But I'm not worried about that for this demonstration, because I'm not going to tuck a bird, because again I want to keep those 2, they're quite useful. So again we're skipping this. And you can see the game speeds up a bit anyway, because you have left turns on each round, which is very nice. There we go, so this should now be the scoring for round 2. Well, 3 each, quite like that. Staying level. You can see it sort of gives you even points for the following rounds as far as they're set at this stage. That's quite nice. But I like the illustrations, I like the animations, the music, it all sort of adds together really nicely. So, we need to get food. But in theory we want to get some cards first, so maybe let's do that. Let's see what we've got. If we draw 2 cards. Oh, we have to undo, sorry, I clicked on the other thing first. So, we want to draw 2 cards. That one's quite good, 6 points. Might as well get that. Doesn't really matter because we're now going to draw another 2, so we always draw basically 4. Then we can tuck one. Now, let's have a look through these. It's got a fish to tuck. Ooh, oyster catcher. Draw some more. I think I'm going to get rid of the oyster catcher. Okay. And let's draw another card. And then at the end, we have to tuck another card. Normally I like the fish crow, but we're going to get rid of it this time. And that's it. So these are the current end of round golds, scoring. And then we carry on. 5 turns left. Now we've got so many cards in hand, so it's time to get some food. And what do we need? Not really many of those. So fish is obviously useful for the, where is it, the green heron. And then you can see we've drawn the fish, so there's now 2 berries left, so we can do a reroll. And again, you cannot undo this, so let's reroll it. Do we want another fish to get the pelican out? Why not? Let's do that. That's our 2 done. So we can now tuck a card. Oh, I like the heron. What's this? Woodland hooded warbler is very good as well. Let's do it. Let's go for it. 7 points thrown away. Oh, there we go. Blue-winged warbler. As if I'd planned it. 8 points. Very chirpy. So maybe that was a good decision. Now we need to get some birds into the woodlands. Let's do this. Okay, what do we need for this one? 2 worms, which we don't have, but can we draw them? Let's see. There's 1 worm here. And then if we go 4 mouse, say, we can tuck a cut. I'm going to skip it this time. Got away with it first, but not this time. So yeah, so the automa doesn't have to, I don't think it does have to spend food and things to play birds. It just draws them and gets them, but I'm not too sure. I have never played it with the automa in the real printed version of the game, so I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, so we want to play this now. So we're going to pay 1 worm and 2 fish to make up the other worm, but I'm tempted to change that. I want a worm, a fish, and a rodent. There we go. That's better, and I've just spent an egg. So where did we have our eggs? Yeah, Bruce Blackbird. Let's get rid of one of those.
Blue-winged warbler. This warbler especially likes to nest on the edges between forest and fields.
Nice. So, carry on. We got another bird. We've got 2 turns left. Don't think we have enough turns to play another bird in the woodland, so we're gonna just go to the wetlands, play the heron, just for a fish. There we go. And then we need to get an egg, again from the blackbird. And there we are.
Green herons drop insects and other objects onto the water to attract fish.
Nice. Okay. Okay, last turn in round 3. I think it's time to get some food again. So I'm going to reroll. Actually, we need to get these out as well. So I'm going to take 1 grain. Then I'll have to reroll because there's nothing left. And another grain. Ooh, should I discard that? Yeah, I'm going to discard the pelican to get another food. And what do we need? We need a invertebrate. Then I can tuck a card, which I'm not going to do this time. So slowly moving into the lead, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah. Let's see if we can win this. Right, round 4. We want eggs in the wetlands. Now that should be doable. But first, I'm going to get one of these out. Painted bunting. Yeah. Now we need an egg. The blackbird again.
Painted bunting. Poachers sell these birds as pets, making it harder for wild populations to thrive.
There you go. So, got 2 options. Cartographer, birds with geography terms in their names. Birds with body parts in their names now. I think this is where it gets a bit harder to see what you've actually got. I think this would be quite useful now. Oh, actually it does tell you. There you go. We've got 4 birds of that already for 7 points. I think that's what that means. Got 0 of those. So let's have a look. Anatomist. Select that. I think that's a choice made. That's really useful. I wasn't quite sure whether it would tell you, but it seems to have done that. Okay. Now we need more food. But we also need more cards. Wow. And we want to lay eggs. Choices. Let's lay some eggs first. So we want them all in the wetlands, don't we? 1, 2. There we go. Each bird can tuck a card. No. Yeah. This is a much closer game this time, I think. But it's just lovely. I mean, the illustrations are gorgeous. You sort of recreated the paper effect in the background as well. And just these animations as you zoom in between the different areas. So, I think we'll do a draw action this time. 1, 2, and remember we can always draw loads. We haven't got any food to give, so we have to skip this. Don't really know why it asks us, because we haven't got any food, so we cannot do this. But we can draw 2 more, which we're doing, and then we can tuck a card. And if I do draw a card, so I might tuck the Anhinga, I don't know how you pronounce this, which allows us to draw another card, and then at the end we have to discard a card again. 9 points. Wow, can we do this? Let's get rid of the swallow maybe. Next. I don't think we can. We haven't got enough turns left, that's the problem. So really what we want to do is just lay eggs, I think. That's what everyone always says anyway. I quite like to keep it a bit more free flow. Because 9 points, but we need 3 food for that. Can we get 3 food? Well, we could. So we need any, which is that. Actually, let's undo this. Want the food, but I'm going to reroll straight away because we need 2 grains. There we go. 1, 2, and then any other. So we go for a grain again because I'm going to do the other bird there. We can tuck a card. Let's go for the Mississippi kite. And then we can draw a card. I don't know. Let's go for that one. You hear all the noises. Okay. Coming to the end now. So last turn now. We'd like to get this one out, don't we? Shall we do it? Let's. Maybe we don't have enough food. Oh, we didn't do that, did we? Oh, that was silly. I meant to discard a card from my hand to draw another food, a third food. Oh well, there we go. Decision made now. We have to basically lay eggs. So we want them all down there. Even though we can only get a maximum of 5 points for this. Tuck a card. Let's tuck this card to at least get some more extra points. Lay an egg on the current bird. Yes. Which I think would be this one. So we'll do that. And then the automa goes, and then we are done. Let's see what happens. It's not looking good. Oh, it's neck and neck. Ooh, way behind. Oh, way behind. Oh, yeah, we didn't do it. We did not do it. But no, it was good fun. So now when you finish it, ask you whether you want to preserve it for the archive, which I'm not going to do. I presume you can basically have a list of games that you've played. I presume that's how it works. But yeah, this was Wingspan, the digital edition. So this is by Monster Couch Games. The original is, of course, by Elizabeth Hargrave and Stonemaier Games. A really good game. I can highly recommend, as I say, do read my review and check the unboxing for this as well. But this was it. This was the playthrough of the digital edition that I wanted to show you. And thanks very much for watching as always. I really appreciate everyone who has watched this. If you can let me know what you think in the comments below. Also like this video if you did like what you saw, and even better if you can subscribe to the channel. Very much appreciated that. And check out the description, there's links there to my blog where you'll also find the review of this game and other articles, as well as links to my Ko-fi and Patreon pages if you want to support me financially. But that was all. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I hope I see you again soon. Bye!